patience is like you need so much patience in this work. I cannot begin to talk about it. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I feel so weird saying this. I'm so overwhelmed yet super excited to be shooting this because I've always wanted to do this, and thank you so much for your responses. I really appreciate you taking out the time and sitting here with me as well. You know, I'm a very chill gal like that, so you're gonna have a lot of fun. Please hold me accountable if I digress, because you know I'm one of those people who tell a story and then उसमें 13 और stories आ जाती है, उसकी 13 stories आ जाती है. That's me. And when I'm doing this unscripted, then you're in for a ride. So without further ado, let's get into what you're actually here for. So the first part, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Jessica. I'm 22. I'm actually from Surat. I've studied there till like I graduated from high school, and then I came to Bombay for my college. I studied BSc Economics and I graduated in 2024. I took up a job in this very city. So I was here for 4 years. Great. I had the time of my life. And then I got a remote job. So then naturally, like most people do, I moved back home. And again, I'm here after 9 months because I have some unfinished business with this city. I love this city to death. And it's accessible for me because it's only 3 hours away from home. That's a different story, you know. Again, see, I'm digressing. I'm very mindful, guys. I'm keeping a tab open in my head constantly that don't digress. But yeah, that's about me. Okay, let's get to business. All the questions that y'all have sent, and they're mainly 4 big questions: what I do, what industry is this, how to land a remote job, and what are the qualifications and what's the pay around it. I've actually written everything down because I tend to digress. Firstly, I want to talk about remote jobs in general, okay? When you're on a hunt for a remote job, I want you to be very mindful of what you're looking into, you know? I want you to actually go first, explore what you want to do, look for companies in that space, and look for companies that are offering hybrid setup. That brings me to my second point. If you are a graduate, I would urge you to please go for an in-office setup. The amount of things that you learn when you physically go and sit down and work with individuals who are in the same setup as you is unparalleled. Okie dokie, let's get to the meat of the discussion. Everything I've spoken so far has been gravy, and I understand that. So I work in this industry called expert network. A very big part of the entire investment consulting ecosystem. Like, it's a service that's part of the ancillary requirement of this industry, and I didn't know. I had no idea about this industry when I started my college, when I was in my college, when I graduated from my college. I had absolutely no idea that this industry exists. What does an expert network do? Basically, your investment firms and management consultants, when they run their researches or when they are working for a client, they do 2 types of researches. One is quantitative, where they run their models, which is more in-house. They sit for earning calls or do their own data crunching and everything, which I never wanted to be a part of, am not a part of, and will never be a part of. Like, this is something that's a world that's alien to me. But the second part of the research is more qualitative, you know, where they want to corroborate the information that they've gotten here with information from real world experts, people who are on ground working in this industry, who have first hand experience regarding this space and are more in tune with the nitty-gritties and the everyday of this industry. Where do I come in the picture? I am the network, I am the third party, I am sort of the mediator, the anchor, the broker, whatever you want to call it. I speak to the client, I get the information of what they want to do, what they want to learn about, and I look for these experts, source these experts, vet these experts. Vetting and screening is the same. You know, communicate with them, get a sense if they're going to be a good fit, present them to my client, and then ultimately set up the call. But the industry does not just end here. There are a lot of products that are offered under expert network as well, which is why it's also called information services, which some of you guessed right. Companies crunch the data, put it into a format and publish it on their internal portals where investors or management consultants have been empaneled. So that's also part of the broader ecosystem, but personally I have been part of the expert network core client servicing expert calls segment. What are the qualifications that are needed to be part of this industry? To be extremely candid with you, you don't need fancy degrees, you don't need fancy things on your resume to crack in. All you need, if I have to be again extremely transparent with you, is great communication skills, decent English writing skills, and your judgment should be good, especially when you're entering this space. Of course, when you climb up the ladder, you need more transferable skills. My colleagues have been from such diverse backgrounds. They are lawyers मतलब जिन्होंने law पढ़ा है. I have studied economics. There are people who studied finance, people who have completed their levels, CFA levels, people who are from like BBA backgrounds. I have worked with somebody who's from microbiology background as well. So there is no barrier to entry. Anyone and everyone can enter this space. It's just that you just need to have a good command on your language and just decent human being. You're diligent, you're hardworking, you're obedient, and you are flexible. Yeah, this is what it's all about. Let me see if I have missed out on anything. Yeah. Why is this industry offering remote jobs, guys? Because you understand by the nature of the work or what I just explained to you, it's fairly easy to set up on a remote basis, right? And with the advent of insane technology around communication and connectivity, collaborating and transcending geographies has become extremely easy. Timings are such that you can actually encapsulate that in your day and still have a normal life, have a life before work, which gives me so much flexibility to do this, to just pursue other things in life. I have some general thoughts around this industry, this model of employment, and the setup of work. I would like to say that this industry might not be for everyone, because it's sort of reverse sales, because you're persuading somebody to talk to you and you're also persuading them because you want to pay them. So it's sort of reverse sales, and in my experience, it's very easy to get burnt out because you're constantly cold calling people, you're constantly on the phone talking to people, and if you're somebody who's not okay with that, I'd say that you can explore for other departments in this industry. But the core work has a lot to do with communicating, cold calling, chasing warm leads, doing lead generation. All these are jargon. Basically तुम्हें बात करना आना चाहिए is my point of constantly बात करना आना चाहिए. I also wanted to talk about how much it pays. The base salary could range between 7 to 11 LPA. And there's another component, especially in the function that I worked in, where because it's reverse sales, you earn bonuses as well. So like how in sales you earn commission on how much of a product you're selling or whatever the criteria is. Here, again, you will have targets on a monthly basis. So if you hit those targets, you unlock bonuses, which could also add a significant amount to your base salary. So keep an eye out for that. Like whenever you apply in this industry, please ask them what their target structure is, what their bonus structure is, and of course inquire about the base salary. I would actually love to talk about how I convinced my parents to move out again. Like sure, when I had a job in Bombay, they were pretty okay with it because I had to, right? Because I had to go to the office. But अभी मेरा कोई reason नहीं है. मैं बॉम्बे में रहती हूँ. Like मेरे को रहना नहीं पड़ रहा है यहाँ पे. मैं रहती हूँ. और that conversation is pretty difficult because first I told them that I want to move out in Surat, and I was slapped figuratively, and fairly so. It's quite unconventional, right? And so if you want to know how I spoke to my parents, how I convinced them to move out, how I found this amazing, beautiful, budget-friendly flat, and how I've made it, actually it's pretty cute, guys. Please ignore my broken lamp there, but it's pretty cute. If you're from Mumbai, please drop a hi. I'd say a hi back, and probably if I can see you from a window, I'd just wave at you. I want to do YouTube long term, guys. Just by the way, I want to do YouTube long term. So if you have any more video ideas, if you want to know more about me, about anything, please. Basically, I'm asking, तो मेरे को जानना है क्या और है तो बताओ क्योंकि मैं बताने को ready हूँ. Lastly, I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much for making it so far in this video. Thank you for your response, and if you can, please like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.